It all started on a crisp spring morning when I found myself staring at my tiny backyard, feeling like I was stuck in some kind of gardening Groundhog Day. Year after year, I'd try to grow my own vegetables, but it always ended the same way: wilting plants, mediocre harvests, and a lingering sense of defeat. The soil was rocky, the space was limited, and honestly, I was starting to think I just wasn't cut out for this whole gardening thing. My thumb was more like a sad, wilted brown. Then, one day, while scrolling through the internet, I stumbled upon these peculiar things called potato grow bags with flap, 10-gallon, 4-pack planter pots with handles and harvest windows. At first glance, they look like oversized laundry bags, but something about them called my name. Maybe it was the promise of a harvest window that let me see the magic happening underground. Or maybe it was the fact that they didn't take up much space. Either way, I decided to give them a shot, mostly out of desperation. When they arrived, I was a mix of excitement and skepticism. They were sturdy, had these convenient handles, and the flap on the front seemed like a clever touch. I filled them with some potting mix, tossed in a few seed potatoes, and watered them like my life depended on it. And then, I waited. The first few weeks were uneventful. I'd water them, check on them, and wonder if I'd just wasted my money. But then, something miraculous happened. The plants started growing. Like, really growing. They were green, vibrant, and seemed to be defying the limitations of my tiny backyard. I found myself standing there every morning, coffee in hand, just admiring these humble bags of dirt and plants. They were doing what my in-ground garden never could. And then came the harvest. I unzipped the flap on the first bag, and my jaw dropped. There they were, perfect, plump potatoes, nestled in the soil like little treasures. I felt like a kid on Christmas morning. But the real kicker came when I decided to experiment. I threw a tomato plant into one of the bags, and before I knew it, it was producing more tomatoes than I knew what to do with. My kitchen was suddenly overflowing with fresh produce, and I was the envy of the neighborhood. But here's the twist: these bags didn't just change my garden, they changed my life. My kids started getting excited about helping me water and harvest. My partner, who had always been skeptical of my gardening adventures, was now out there every weekend, inspecting the bags and marveling at the bounty. We started having little backyard dinners, with fresh vegetables that we'd grown ourselves. It wasn't just about the food, it was about the connection, the pride, and the joy of creating something together. And then there was the unexpected bonus. These bags became a conversation starter. Neighbors would stop by, curious about the strange black and gray sacks on my patio. I'd give them a tour, and before long, they'd be ordering their own set online. I went from being the guy with the failing garden to the local gardening guru. All thanks to these unassuming bags. Of course, there was also the humor in it all. I remember one time when I harvested so many tomatoes that I had to start giving them away to anyone who would take them. My mailbox had a sign that said, "Free tomatoes. Take some, please." It was ridiculous, but it was also kind of wonderful. Looking back, I never expected these simple grow bags to have such a profound impact. They weren't just a gardening tool. They were a way to reconnect with my family, my community, and even myself. They reminded me that sometimes the smallest changes can lead to the biggest rewards. Whether this story is real or not, well, that's entirely up to you to decide. Our purpose is to tell stories that make you smile, inspire you, or maybe just brighten your day a little. Our participation in the Amazon Associates program helps us continue bringing these stories to you. Because life's too short for boring product descriptions, isn't it?